So we're heading over to Fletcher's. We're over in about 20 minutes away. We're over in Rome, Georgia. Go pick up some bobwhite quail so we can get some training in before the season ramps up on some birds, and fine tune some mechanics and make sure Colt's still real steady. And so we got 50 birds. It was supposed to be 100. So we got a couple other guys that are going to take some of the birds, and I'll keep some of them. We'll take them up to the barn over at Nuntula and be able to train up until it comes time to hunt.
Why don't you raise your own birds?
Probably because I don't think the apartment complex would be very happy with me. But yeah, I'd say that's the main reason. So for now we rely on Fletcher and go pick up birds from him, which I've been doing since I moved down here. This will be the third year I'm getting birds from Fletcher. But now I have a place to keep them at least. When I first used to get them from him, he'd keep them for me, and I'd take 3 or 4 at a time and bring them to one of the wildlife management areas over here, over at Berry College. And we'd just go out in the morning, train, and pick up a few birds from him, and do that every weekend. So this was actually a weekly commute for me at one point in time.
What's the difference between the birds you're getting and wild birds?
So the birds that we get that are, for whether it be for our hunts or for training, they're not quite as spooky, and we do what we can to keep them spooky, like a wild bird, keeping them in the dark and kind of keeping their senses keen. But out in the wild, the birds are definitely more adapted to predators, and they're hardier and they fly harder. They're quicker to run, and they're just more well adapted to their environment than these pen-raised birds that we have are. And they're definitely a good training tool, and they're good to keep a dog on his game. But wild birds is where it's at.
So in Nuntula, they don't have wild quail out there?
No, it's all pen-raised birds, and like I said, we keep them in the dark, try and keep their senses as keen as possible. But no, they're all pen-raised and stocked usually the night before of a hunt.
So why doesn't that area have wild birds?
So I mean, you talk to some of the older folks around there, and it used to be there. There's a lot of speculation as to why the wild bird population isn't what it used to be, and depending on who you talk to, you'll get all different answers. I guess the reason I hear quite often and choose to believe is that there's not enough fires. Back in the day, there used to be wildfires, and that would create a lot of undergrowth or underbrush growth, and that's prime habitat for quail. Now you have these big canopies where it doesn't allow a lot of light in, and you don't get this this brush that the quail need to protect themselves from predators and hide. And so you look at any areas of conservation efforts, and there's a lot of controlled burns to make sure that habitat's there. Some people choose to say that birds of prey have had something to do with it, and coyotes and stuff, but I mean, those animals have been around forever. They were predators when the wild bird population was thriving. And it's not to say that I don't think, I think conservation efforts are really good, and I think the population is doing much better, if not consistently improving. But there's always been predators. I think the difference is now is they don't necessarily have the environment to protect themselves from predators. You know, it's easier pickings for them. So. You know, at one point in time, and probably still is, but it definitely still is Georgia was the place to go for bobwhite quail hunting.
North or South Georgia?
South Georgia, for sure. Which, like I said, there's a lot of good conservation efforts out there. One of the properties we hunt in South Georgia is public land. That's Quail Forever's been doing a lot of work over there, and we've definitely seen birds before. I haven't gotten to take one with my shotgun yet. Tried to, missed. But they're definitely out there. You know, you drive in the mornings and you hear them calling away, and it's really pretty surreal to be out there early in the morning when the sun's just coming up and you hear the birds making their bobwhite sound.
Think New Tula has any ideas on trying to rebuild the wild bird population at all, or is it?
I think most of what New Tula does as far as conservation work has to do with their trout waters, and they do a very good job at it. And I know Emily Owenby, you know, that's her craft. That's what she's studying and in school. You know, what she does in her free time has a lot to do with conservation efforts. I mean, that girl eats, sleeps, and breathes fly fishing. So
how did you get hooked up with this Fletcher guy?
So when I moved down here, I was calling around all different hunting clubs, trying to find out if they were interested in letting some northerner come train on their grounds. Most of them said no. Actually, they all said no. But one of them did say, "Hey, well, listen, I got this guide that works for us. Why don't you give him a call and see if he's got some advice for you or ideas for where to train, etc." So I gave him a shout, and he linked me up with Fletcher. He took me out here one morning with him and his dogs, and he linked me up with Fletcher, and been getting birds from Fletcher since. And he turned me on to the Berry WMA, which, like I said earlier, they have a bird dog training area. It's specifically reserved for bird dog training. So as long as you have proof of purchase of your birds, you can bring birds there during certain months and train on them. So yeah, that's how I got linked up with Fletcher. The Berry WMA is only about 20 minutes from him, so it'd work out. You know, Sunday mornings, Colt and I would leave early and go pick up a few birds and go and get it done before it got too hot. Oh, that was it. Oh, missed it. I always do that. I'm usually coming in from that side. Pull a little U-turn. This Fletcher hasn't graded in a little while here. One year Fletcher lost a bunch of birds. We had a really bad storm that came through and tore the roof off his bird pen. This is it. Colt's gonna be excited. What do you smell, bud? What do you smell? All right, back in the truck for the next hour and a half. At least the net's there. Mice, rat. Coleman, you been collecting rats? Better put some cats out here. Yeah.
There's some big ones.
And not enough in there. That would probably work, that tray right there. You don't got any holes in it, right?
It's got a few, but it's where it's gonna be sitting, so I think it'll be fine. See, like right there?
Yeah, it's gonna leak out. That ain't gonna work. I'm not sure. Might have to pour it in the, so I don't know, Coleman, if it's gonna, if we put enough in here, if it's gonna actually make its way to the pipes. Because it's got to be above that, I think.
Yeah.
We'll try it.
So how does that work when you pour it in there?
There's that tube on the other side that runs along that pipe, and that'll fill up the waterers from this tub.
Oh, that's cool. Think that'll work?
Yeah, it looks like it's taking some.
I can always, like, tomorrow come back and...
Just add more.
Yep.
I think that'll get us by.
Alright, so I'll come back tomorrow and just do the same exact thing.
Yeah, it'll work.
And then what about feeding them?
I'm gonna put out that whole bag. That should get them through the week, I'm sure. But your dad said there might be more. Yeah, it looks like there's more in there. If the mice didn't get to all of it.
There's a little bit in there.
Alright. And I'll get more. Oh, there you go. Probably more in there too. Hey Coleman, when you come in, can you grab that bag of feed? Should be in the back of my truck.
So,
Come on. Come on. No, try the other side. There we go. Nope, nope, almost.
they ain't the smartest bird.
No.
Black plate scared me.
There you go. A smart bird.
What'd you say?
Oh, there you go. There's a black snake.
He's probably killing off all the mice for us.
Let me get it.
Pretty harmless, right? I mean, other than the bite.
Strike you.
Pretty cool.
Killing off all the rats for us.
Yeah, hopefully. You see him smacking the ground? Yeah, this is our bird barn. It's where we keep all of our fall guests. Right now there's about 30 quail in there. Come season, that barn will be packed full. And again, I should have asked T how many quail we'll pick up at a time, but it definitely does not look quite as empty come season time. Head down to the Junie field and put out a bird for Colt. I did forget my gun, so we might be shooting off to 380 today to just to simulate a shot. Let Colt break after the shot, at least just go around. So I'll put him on check cord, make sure he's holding it steady. To be very honest, I think probably don't need to put him on check cord. I'm pretty confident that he'll keep his distance and won't bump that bird. But we'll put him on check cord just in case. It has been a little while, but I'm pretty confident that he'll fall right back into his groove. I know he's got to be excited about it. So we'll probably just put a bird somewhere on the edge of this row up here. I think that's real high today. Hopefully it'll be cutting in soon, but it might be working with us for a while. I'll just drive out there, we'll go set it, and then we'll bring Colt in afterwards. Tucking his head under his wing. Basically, kind of knock him out so I can go plant him. And this way, when I bring Colt in, he'll be steady. This bird won't be running. So I picked this up from the local outdoor supply. This is my marker. Basically, just so Colt does have some trouble finding a bird, I know approximately where the bird is, because he's the real magician finding these. I probably will forget by the time we get back over there where that bird was. So we're just gonna take Colt down to the creek real quick. He's been panting a little bit, so before I really get him going, it's a little warm out, so I'm going to take him down the creek, let him cool off. We're only going to work him on one bird. I don't want him overheating. Colt, you get some water. Yep. Ready. Ready. Come on. Ready? All right. All right. Whoa. What? So I want to try and keep him kind of close to me today, just because if I do need to handle him when he's on the bird, or pulling that check cord and hold him tight, then I can. Oh, what? Normally I let him range out quite a bit, but easy. All right. Easy. Easy. Yeah, so he smells it now. There we go. He's on point. Good boy. Good boy. So I'm going to come in from the front of him. Here he's laying down, so I'm going to make a correction.
Good boy. Good boy. Bring it here. Come on, bring it here. Bring it here. Come on. Come on. Bring it. Come on. Go. The bird didn't fly too hard. Colt managed to grab it after the shot, which I'm okay with. It's after the shot. He's thinking at that point it's a dead bird. Obviously, if he reached in there and grabbed it before I got in there, able to flush the bird, it'd be a different story. We don't want him busting birds, so we don't want him getting in there and prior to a shot. But we'll let this guy go. Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to train on it again in a couple days or something. You never know.